Okay, so this is just going to be a fairly quick one. We're playing in our local hobby league, and in the finals, I decided that I was going to be playing Melffy Tri Brigades. Terrence, he decided he was going to play Mutant. These decks were very quickly thrown together, but we just thought we'd showcase some of the new decks coming out. So I'm starting. I start off. I've got the Obedience Guild. He has the D shifter, which is really unfortunate. So in this one, I don't know why this is it's not showing in my extra deck, but I'm not playing the Barkion in this, which would have been very useful. Um, so we really need to play around this Obedience Guild. I'm thinking I just need to set something up. So some of these thinking, oh, I'll go for Barkion. I've taken it out to fit in some of the Tri Brigade stuff. Yeah, that's me realizing, oh wait, I don't have it. So we go for the Melffy the Forest instead. Grab ourselves the Puppy, which is just a better one to have. We get the Hide and Seek. Set the memo, just can't be sure about bad ones per turn. So one of the questions we had here was, does Ceres get destroyed in the end phase? Because it was someone with Obedience Skill, which is destroyed during the end phase, and Hide and Seek um, protects from being destroyed once per turn. So we sort of questioned that. We have asked a judge, and uh, we'll get Tom Lockett, who is currently on the case. We're waiting on his reply, but we just went with the idea that it might be similar to Winda Instant Fusion Dingirsu, so we've gone with that. So he goes for the extravagance. Mutants don't rely on their extract very much, so here he goes for the MO5. So MO5 and ST46 are their two main small ones. So this one adds a mutant monster when it's normal summoned. This one adds a mutant spell or trap. So very similar. And they both have this second effect that you can tribute it and then banish a card from hand or field to special summon one of the big ones. So you get Mutant Beast, Mutant Mr. Mutant Arsenal. So in this case, he just grabs himself another Mutant ST46. Now he has two. He's playing the Mech Knight engine, just as like a very small engine. Puts bodies on boards. They're psychics that can trigger off the Lambda. So that's me on the summon of the purple doing the effect. I probably should have waited. I thought I'd get rid of the threat of the Nightfall, so we Kalantosa to target the MO5 and then Forest targeting the Nightfall. So he activates the Evolution Lab, so he can special summon a mutant from his hand. I didn't know this had that effect. I vaguely knew that it had the draw effect, but I couldn't remember the rest of it. So he did manage to get himself an ST46 out, which gets him the mutant expansion, which is a rota or a summon, and it's also a protection. Um, so he gets the blue, which gets him the indigo, summons the indigo, then makes those two into the lambda. So Terry was playing this, he wasn't wanting to rely on the Mech Knights too much, he was really wanting to try and focus on the mutants. So there he goes to tribute the mutant. Because the D shifter's still in place, this is all getting banished. He also has to banish one from his hand, so he banishes the other ST46 to get himself the mutant beast. So this is the one that when your opponent activates a spell card or effect, you can banish one card from your hand or field, negate the activation, and banish the card. So he attacks into the Ceres, which gets banished. So does the forest, the material. In the end phase, because he's banished, he gets the gamma as well. So here we go we've got Main Mole, we've got Puppy. We make the they're still called the OCG name, so it's Felijet, so it's Fergie in the English one. So I'm trying to bait out the gamma. Um, so he's just searching for something here. We get the rescue cat. We go for Fractor to grab the Ceres. That's where he'll finally gamma. I was really waiting to try and bait it out before to get the rescue cat. But he goes for the Ceres banishing 4 to summon out Shrike the Wicked Wings or Shrag the Ominous Omen in the TCG. So that effect will banish that. Can then link 3 into the Rugal. So what Terry forgot was that he'd activated the effect of Lambda, so in the end phase he actually forgot to resolve that. That was just felt legit. I was wanting to see what my top deck was. Shuffle in Puppy, Mole, and the Feljet, and we get a Catty. Attack into the Lambda, and then end phase those get banished. So he didn't read the during the main phase effect, so he tried to use this just now, but he'd have to wait until his next main phase. End phase we summon the Catty, and we've got the Ceres there to we can make use of that with the I've forgotten the name, Hoppier Squadron. There we go. So now he's going for the fusion of the synthesis. So this one is when your opponent activates card or effect, you can make it unaffected by the same type of card. And if it's destroyed, you can add one of your banished mutants back. So there I go for effect of Catty. He then goes for effective synthesis, adding chain Rugal. So we get back the Puppy. Catty gets the Hoppier Squadron. So so when this is summoned, he can destroy something. So he'd targeted to strike, so that gets destroyed. Catty gets as the Alpha because it just adds any beast. So Zukang Alpha is a beast, so we get that. And then the Shrike got as the Fractor. Then normal summons, adds Evolution Lab, activates the new Evolution Lab, special summons the MO5, grabs Mutant Mist. So this one is the big one, but it's trap effect. You can banish a card from your hand or field, draw 2 cards. It is the bad one. It interacts with trap effect, and it doesn't negate. So that was the effect to put one on bottom and draw. He then banishes that to summon one of these. He then goes to attack. So Puppy's negated because it was summoned off of Rugal. So that dies. So does the Ceres. So does the Rugal. And then we take 3k to the face. So this is my first time playing with the Zukang Alpha, so I was wondering how to play it. So we go for the big Summoner Shrike. So I go Shrike effect. He then changed the Arsenal. I forgot to introduce this one, so this is the Monster effect one. So this just banishes. It doesn't negate either, but it does banish a monster. So he banishes the Shrike, but I also get to banish. So I banish the Mech Knight because he didn't chain to it, so I could get rid of that while I can. And then special summon the Zukang Alpha, and use the effect to return both of these. So this is already unaffected by monsters. These two can be affected by monsters. So they get bounced back to his hand. He still controls more attack than me, so I can just special summon this. But I've used my normal summon for the turn. We attack over that. He gets the Mutant Evolution Lab back when it's destroyed. We special summon the Catty during the end phase. Catty's not really doing much, but he gets the Mutant Evolution Lab, gets the ST46, gets the Mutant Cry. The Mutant Cry is the fusion summon during the main phase, and only during the main phase. Put one back and draw one. Effect, tribute, and banish to special summon out the Mutant Beast. He then goes battle phase, tries to attack into the Catty. I returned the Catty too soon, so he didn't actually declare an attack. It was just Julian Book being a bit laggy for us. And then he does Mutant Fusion to summon out the big one, the Ultimus. So this one says that when a card or effect is activated, he can banish a mutant card of the same type from hand, grave, or field, and negate and banish. And then if it's destroyed, he can add up to one of each back to his hand. He then sets 2 and passes. So it's my turn. So we've got the Zukang Alpha. I'm thinking I'll maybe be able to do something with this if we can negate, if we can bait the negate with that. So he lets that go through. We get those two. We make the Herald. So the idea here was that I would activate this, he would chain, and sort of be put off chaining by the Herald. But what I didn't know was he had the Clash. So this is target and effect monster your opponent controls, banish a mutant monster from your graveyard. If you do, negate its effects until the end of the turn. So this caused an issue. So we try and negate it anyway because we're in losing position. He then uses Beast to negate and banish. And yeah, there was no point continuing on because it wasn't surviving the next turn. And I had nothing more I could do. So we're going to the next game. That's 1-0 to the Mutants. So I had the tactics. We'll pause this. That's going a bit fast. I had the talents, thinking he might do anything, and he did nothing. So yeah, we grab, uh, we get the fairy jet, and we summon the mine mole. Because we open the mine mole, this is really good for helping us get towards the Nat Beast. We're digging for a normal summon here because we're still. Did we normal summon? No, because we summoned the with Obedience Guild and then Fairy so we're locked into beasts, which I momentarily forgot. Tried to summon out the Rugal. Terry then reminded me that I am locked in. So I was under the impression that I would just get board wiped, so I thought I'd hang on to both of these to try and play through the following turn. And then this was DB being weird, putting things back. So he goes for the ST46, which adds him a spell or trap. So he goes for Mutant Cry again. He's already got the expansion and the clash in hand and the evolution lab, so he's sitting very pretty with these. He has the move man. He goes straight for the beast to attack over the Fairjet, which I was happy with. I'd prefer that rather than the beast. Fairjet effects when it leaves the field, I can draw and put one on the bottom of the deck. So uh, I put the lightning storm back because I figured, well, this is probably sticking around, so I'm not going to get to use it. He then sets one. I take that opportunity because we're in main phase 2 to make the herald. He sets the rest of them passes. So we draw. We get the naval. It's not brilliant. We use hide and seek to put those three back. What was that for? Whoops. I think that was 4. We managed to find a decent normal summon, which gets us to the Ferrojet that we've just put back. Ferrojet can help us. Oh yeah, it's this again. It was lagging for us, and it wouldn't let me summon. So he goes to negate that. I negate it with the Herald because I really want this to go through. So we get the Rugal, and we use the Naval so that we can then search with that. So we get the Fractor, and then we get the Ferrojet to draw and then put one back. So I put the Fractor back, get rid of the Catty, because it's something we can summon with Rugal during his turn and bounce it back to hand at the end phase. It means we have it next turn. So we banish 4 to summon out the Shrag or Shrike. I prefer Shrike. It does say, well, I prefer Shrike, but I prefer the Ominous Omen. So it's a bit of both. So we get to banish something. It was actually a really good banish we went for there. Then we can just go attack into him. Yeah, I couldn't declare an attack, so he just took the damage. And then he goes for Mutant Expansion to add 1, which was fine. And then he gets ST46, then it goes to his turn. He special summons the Indigo, normal summons the ST46. ST46 effect gets an Mutant Cry, which is the fusion spell. It then just goes to kill Nat Beast. There's not really much I can do about it because I said okay to the battle phase before thinking about it because I wanted to protect that. Then Phoenix gets rid of that hide and seek, which is a bit of a shame for us. He then goes for the I think that was the effect of MO5. I don't know. We were speaking throughout it, but yeah, he's gone for MO5 to summon out the mess. Then go for Rugal, which gets the Catty, and I say the back row is much more important because this mist is doing very little. The Catty returns in the end phase. That's the effect of Rugal. It returns to the hand end phase. So we get the Catty popping out. We're sitting fairly pretty. I started doing the calculations and realised that I just need to normal summon one of these and attack for game, which Terry also realises. He doesn't let me attack with Catty for game. So going into game 3, I keep the talents in, thinking he's gonna activate an effect during my turn, right? He's gonna do it, and he just doesn't. I did actually manage to use it this game eventually, but not very soon. So he gets both MO5 and ST46, grabbing more monsters and spells. So he tends to grab the mist so that he can just shuffle it back because it's the worst one. It's not one you want to have in your hand. And well, you want to be summoning them from deck anyway with the effects of MO5 and ST46. So he gets the mist. He has the MO5. And then he has the expansion and the cry. So then we have the Obedience Skilled and the Rescue Cat. I'm very good at the game, so I always draw the Obedience Skilled. against Terry. So again, making the Barkion here would be really good, um, but we don't manage that. So this is sort of a really good position, and just because we can main mole in the Valeraphon into the Nat Beast. I don't know what he's got set. I know it's very unlikely to be a quickly spell, but I figure I may as well. That's the draw off of the Mine Mole. We then overlay it into the Melffy the Forest. Melffy the Forest effect to get itself Puppy, because we already got the Catty. We then Melffy the Forest, hide and seek back the Mine Mole of the Valeraphon and the Rescue Cat. Draw the Zoo King Alpha, which is really good because it means I don't need to grab it off Catty now. We just attack over the MO5. We can't really do anything about the mist at the moment, so we just we set a talents just to sort of bait out because we've got to, so we don't really need the second one. End phase, summon, don't discard the Catty Puppy. So he goes for the Mutant Expansion, getting the MO5 from deck, which lets him grab a monster. Did he grab a monster? Oh, yeah, I chained to it, sorry. So we get the Kalantosa, he gets the MO5. I then go Kalantosa effect targeting MO5, he goes and Melffy the Forest targeting the Mutant Mist, because I didn't want him to just go straight to battle phase and attack over the Nat Beast. This was really bad. He managed to get both searches off. If I'd held off on the Puppy, Catty, which I put both of them in columns, which I completely didn't even mean. I really should learn to play around Mech Knights better. So we go for the Hoppier Squadron so we can do the Herald, and he just starts summoning a lot of guys. So he uses Blue and Indigo to make the Lambda. He then goes to make the Anaconda. He isn't playing Dragoons, he's just playing it for the Mutant Fusion. So I decided I don't want that, so we'll negate that. Yeah, there's the Mutant Fusion. So if your opponent has activated a card effect this turn, you can use one each from your deck and grave as fusion material. And the other one is banishing from hand or field. So that's to summon the Ultimus. But it has the Mutant Cry anyway. So here comes the Synthesis. So this is the one that can make itself unaffected. He then attacks into the Kalantosa, attacks over Nat Beast, and attacks over the Melffy the Forest. So we're not far off using the Lightning Storm. So we go for the Fracture to get the Ceres. Zoo King Alpha summons itself, and then Ceres discarding the Naval, and then Banish 4 to get the Shrike effect. So he chains the Clash to try and negate. I think he's negated the Zoo King Alpha here. And I decided to banish the Lambda because he did activate this effect. Sorry, so he activated this and the Mutant Clash. So this is negated now. This is unaffected by monster effects, and he didn't choose to banish this. So I figure he's got nothing left. So if I banish this, he doesn't get a search in the end phase if he lives. But also because he's activated a monster effect, I can talents grab one of these and crash into the other one. Because I use Ceres, I can't link away with anything other than Beast Warrior, Wing Beast. So I'd just be left with it on the field. I can't get rid of it. But if I attack into each other, then I can get rid of both, and then the rest of the attack is just game. So here we go. Talents, grab the Synthesis, battle phase, attacking with attacking Purple Nightfall, and then that's attacking for game. So that was our first ever try of playing Mutants. Neither of us had really played it. I'd never played it and never really looked at it before then. That was very quickly flung together. We've decided we quite like the Lambda's good with the Gammas, because you're banishing a lot anyway. The Mech Knights are good. They're just big bodies to drop. Like you saw, it can threaten a board really quickly. Not into maybe a bunch of negates, but into big bodies. They can be threatening even over something like a Nat Beast. I lost a game today because I opened 6 spells, not playing this deck, 6 spells against a Nat Beast. So Nat Beast, just getting rid of the Nat Beast was really good. So the mutants we're enjoying it more than we thought we would. It maintains advantage quite well. He had just quite an unfortunate start against me. I drew quite well. As for the Tri Brigade Melffy, I'm really enjoying the engine. Being able to get the extra summon from hand with the Fairjet is really good. Having big boss monsters in the deck is really good because before, oh, still not showing it. We just had sort of the Hulk, Celine, and access code talker, and that was just sort of a one-turn thing. This can refill itself. It's unfortunate that Shrike and Rugal aren't beasts because then they're not protected by hide and seek, and I can't shuffle them back. So I'm playing the one Rugal and two Shrikes at the moment. Um, Playing two Ceres, three Fractor, two Naval, which I think is probably a fairly standard ratio. And I think I've got two main decked alphas. You can search it off the Catty, and to be honest, you're not really ever having more attack than your opponent. Um, so we're hoping to bring more content, especially involving the mutants. That I think Terry's taking that on as a little pet project. But thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.
Shh, not a zombie channel.